Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today we got a hell of a show for you guys, man, that we want to talk about because I think is gonna make some pretty big news. As you guys know, inside the NBA has been a staple in sports media for decades now, quite literally decades, and we've all grown accustomed to loving the analysis of Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson on TNT. Throughout the years, they've had different people on the show, like Chris Webber, and then of course they've had Shaq for quite some time. And then on certain days, you see people like Jamal Crawford. I've seen Tracy McGrady on there. Just yesterday, I heard the announcement that they've added Draymond Green to the show. So what happened about a week or so ago, we produced the show based off of a Front Office Sports article that we had stumbled upon that was essentially saying that TNT was in jeopardy of losing the NBA to NBC, who had previously had the rights to the NBA and covered a lot of their games, especially during that Chicago Bulls run. And essentially what happened was it was time for them to negotiate a new deal, and NBC was looking to get back into the NBA space, and they were willing to double the offer that TNT had on the table. I think it was $1.2 billion to $2.5 billion. And a lot of people at the time were speculating that, listen, they don't think that TNT is going to be able to match that offer. We then did a show that was centered on some comments that Charles Barkley made on the Dan Patrick show, where he said that he was petrified because he didn't know what the future of the show was going to be. So what happened? This morning I was doing some research. Actually, our editor sent us something about, it looks like they're going to lose. It looks like they're going to be losing NBA on TNT before, at the end of the playoffs. They're going to announce that it's over with. But then this morning I was doing some research, and I came across a fadeawayworld.net article that was essentially highlighting some comments from industry insider Bill Simmons, where he himself just basically said that, listen, he believes that they've already lost the media rights deal to NBC. So that's really what we want to focus on today. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Game Time, who's also the sponsor of this particular show today. Game Time Tickets is an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets faster and easier than ever. For example, I am super excited about the games between the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves this week. With Game Time Tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on Game Time. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to the NBA. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, baseball, or concerts, or comedy or theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me get into this article here. It says Bill Simmons claims TNT has already lost NBA media rights to NBC. Bill Simmons has said that the NBA's media rights are already over, with an announcement from NBC imminent. Bill Simmons has publicly claimed that the NBA's media rights negotiations are wrapped up already. With Warner Bros. Discovery TNT having lost out to the 90s right holder NBC Universal. Simmons claims the deal has been done for a few weeks, but the league is likely waiting for the end of the playoffs to announce it. One of the funniest things ever is that we're all pretending that the TV deal wasn't done like a week and a half ago. I think it's done. I think Warner has already lost it. I don't know why they're waiting till after the playoffs. Maybe that's how they have to do it, but it's a wrap. NBC is getting it. So you heard what Bill Simmons had to say there. Even before Bill Simmons saying that, when I heard the offer, I was like, yeah, they're gonna lose it. If somebody's willing to offer you more than double something that another person is willing to offer you, you're going to most likely go with the guy that's willing to offer you money. And simply, NBC came prepared to simply outbid TNT. And it looks like they're going to win. Now, what does this mean for the sports media landscape? It's an interesting one. The reason I say that is because now that we know this, then the question then becomes, what are we going to be getting? Who are going to be the people that are going to be covering the NBA, number one? Number two, what happens to voices like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley? Now, let's talk about a figure like Shaq. Why would a Shaq want to be on a show like that? I don't think it's for the money, although obviously Shaq is getting paid a nice amount of money. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the amount, but I'm pretty sure. But I think it's for the visibility and for also to remain relevant. When you're a businessman like Shaq, who has many different businesses, when you're on television, it keeps you relevant, which means that it keeps your businesses relevant, right? So for a person like Shaquille O'Neal, it's very, very beneficial. Now, I don't know Charles Barkley to be a businessman, but for Shaq, I can see where that really helps him. In the case of Charles Barkley, if Charles Barkley is not going to be talking about the NBA anymore, then I don't know where we are. I do not know where we are, because I think he is a voice that is needed. I think he's the best in the business that we got going, at least in the best in terms of talking about the NBA. He's the best. He's the best because no one is going to give you an unfiltered position like Charles Barkley. And he rarely, if ever, has any rooting interest. So he just goes out there and essentially tells you what he 100% believes. So for the NBA, I mean, for us as fans to be in a position where we could be losing out to him, losing some of these voices is going to be a pretty big blow. But then I want to get into something that was said on the Dan Patrick show when he was there talking to him. And he said, Dan Patrick said to Charles Barkley, he goes, well, but Charles, why are you so worried? I mean, for all we know, NBC can bring you guys over. He's like, I don't know that. I don't know that, number one. And number two, he said, I don't know how it works without Ernie Johnson, because Ernie Johnson is essentially the glue that keeps that show together. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what Charles Barkley's next big gig is going to be. I really, really, really don't know. If I'm being honest with you, I think that Charles Barkley is more valuable to the sports space than Shannon Sharpe, for example. And Shannon Sharpe is a big deal. If ESPN or someone like that was to land a Charles Barkley or land some type of version of that show that they had with TNT, I think is going to be a mega hit. And I think he's going to bring in buku ratings. Buku ratings. Or I don't know what Fox Sports 1 is doing. Maybe they may take a look at Charles. I don't know. But that's the news as is breaking, and we decided to share with you guys. So given that this is what's most likely imminent, what do you guys think? Right? Are you ready for something new? And what do you think happens with the crew with Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, and Shaq? What do you think happens with them? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.